Year after year after year, usually better than top five. Ramsey hit as he throws. It's
nice interception for Dax Hill on his first start as a Wolverine. So Josh Uche, you can tell, already gets an enormous jump off here, and he is rushing this as a part of a little stunt with Carlos. That's what the broadcast called him, Carlo Kemp. You have Aiden Hutchinson coming here, and then you have a rush off the edge for Cleek Hudson. On the other side, you're going to have Kwity Paye rushing here with Jordan Glasgow looping around here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on pressure. Indiana does keep in number 8 here on pass protection. He will pick up Hudson. So let's take a look at both sides of the defensive line here and how they get this pressure. So first thing, two guys you'll want to pay attention to is both Kwity Paye, Carlo Kemp and Aiden Hutchinson. They both just whip their guys, just shuck them off. So Hutchinson just completely dominates 89. He has a clear path now to the quarterback with Stevie Scott taking Hudson off the edge. So that's first thing. Second thing now is look at Carlo Kemp. He shucks off 77. This is a lot of room for him to operate here, so he also has a free path. There's two guys here. You'll have Uche providing a little bit of pressure as well at the time of the throw. You can see at the time of the throw, you have Aiden Hutchinson affecting it as Carlo Kemp is about to take out the midsection of Ramsey. As far as routes go, you're going to have a little stop route here out of this guy. You're going to have a deep kind of post pattern here, and then this guy just kind of goes, I think this is kind of actually a deeper cross route here. So it looks like the intended route he was going for is the deep post here, but given he's on his back foot, he's kind of leaning back, he's not going to get the power, plus the arm hit from Hutchinson causes this to float, and a nice diving catch for Dax Hill on the interception. So his eyes are kind of all over the place on this, and here's the deflection here of the arm to cause this interception.
The sophomore gets the call, and he's back to the line of scrimmage.
You'll notice a trend in these plays that the linebackers for Michigan don't really have to do a whole lot given how well the defensive line played. So the give is to Stevie Scott here. You have zone blocking for Indiana coming this way. Michigan has 4 down linemen. You're going to have Aiden Hutchinson working down the line to his right here. You're going to have Dwom Ford pushing here on a little bit of a stunt with Kemp, who's going to loop a round to the left. And then you have Paye one-on-one here on this tackle. So let's look at the right side here with Dwom Ford and Paye. So Dwom Ford gets really nice push in the backfield. He's going to get like 2 yards of depth here. Paye shucks this guy and keeps inside arm free here. So he's outside here, and then he's going to work back here. So he has any outside cut here from Stevie Scott. Paye is ready to handle that. As he sees Stevie Scott goes this way, he can redirect here, which he does appropriately. As I said, Dwom Ford gets a really nice push here. This immediately forces Stevie Scott to either go outside, which Paye is denying, or cut back here. And he cuts back, and that's because of the depth that Dwom Ford gets here. Looking at the other side, so Kemp does a really good job on his stunt to engage 77, this tackle. At the same time, Hutchinson is working down the line, eyes in the backfield. He is watching this play. He has backside. So really good job from Kemp to get a good pop here on his stunt. He gets his eyes in the backfield, sees this redirection from Stevie Scott, and now you have both Aiden Hutchinson working down with Kemp, who made a really nice push here on 77. He's in position, so all gaps are covered, both on the redirection force and on the cutback here for Stevie Scott. So linebackers are getting blocked here, but again, it doesn't really matter given that all 4 of these guys won their individual battles and kept lane integrity to force Stevie Scott to cut back into the teeth of the defense. So good job all around.
Defense. 3rd and 10 for IU. And that
nice pursuit here after the initial rush from Michigan. So you're bringing 4 on pressure. You got these 2 offensive linemen going here. You got Uche on this edge. You're bringing Aiden Hutchinson around, looping. This is where the initial pressure will come from. Something I really like, though, is after the initial rush here, is that everyone keeps their lane integrity. So it's looking like this is a big gap for Peyton Ramsey to go. Obviously, this is where Hutchinson is is rushing from. So he has a couple options, it looks like, here to get flush out of the pocket. Uche does a really good job keeping his eyes on Ramsey. He was outside of 76 here. Now he's working back here. He's closing this gap. And similarly, Kwity Paye realizes Peyton Ramsey is stepping up. He throws on a spin move, you can see here, and he's going to fill this gap. You have McGrone as well to react to whichever way that Ramsey is going. But you have both Uche and Paye redirecting based off of this initial pressure from Hutchinson, and that closes these gaps immediately. Paye is right here just in case Ramsey decides to keep going this way, as well as McGrone coming this way, and now you have Uche redirecting here. So all of this just buys time for Hutchinson, who's completely unblocked at that point, to actually get home. As far as routes go, everyone is on a go route outside of this guy, who I think is doing a out route, but you have really deep, 4 deep routes here. You got Metellus on the cover 1 outside here. So all long developing routes with how well, or sorry, this guy was the guy. Yeah, this is the guy. I don't know what he's doing, but it's a shorter route. But regardless, it's a longer developing play, and Ramsey gets pressured right away, has to start scrambling. The lane integrity of the defensive line forces him to redirect a couple times, and that gives enough time for Hutchinson to pick up the sack. So good job all around, both coverage and lane integrity on the defensive line.
For Indiana, Sean. Michigan won the toss, deferred. They'll get the ball to start the...
Nice play by McGrone here. Let's look at the play design for Indiana. So all the linemen are going out this way. You're going to have the center reach out for McGrone. You're going to have the backside tackle reach for backside linebacker. In this case, it is Glasgow. Then you got 1-on-1 from the guard here on Kemp. The give is here to Stevie Scott coming across the formation. You're going to run this little bubble action with these wide receivers and this slot back, and that's just to get these defensive backs out of the way, to isolate these linebackers as the only guys on the second level actually able to react to this, and you have the blockers reaching out from the offensive line to account for those. So that's the overall goal for Indiana here. Let's look at the defensive line for Michigan. So Uche's working to the outside. He's kind of going to eliminate himself here for 77, make his job a little bit easier. Kemp doesn't have much to do here. He's locked up. Kemp does actually get off a little bit late, but is not a factor here. Paye is working down the line. Again, he's backside, so just any backside cuts. And then Hutchinson is here as well. I don't think he gets much of impact here. He actually chooses the inside, which allows this left side of the hole to fill. So defensive line isn't really a factor here. You see McGrone get there, and that's because he beats this block for 66. He's a little bit delayed getting out there, and McGrone is just too fast reacting here for this lineman to get there. This lineman does a little bit better on Glasgow, who's a little bit slower to react, but they both work off of their blocks and flow to this play really nicely. This looks really scary right here. This is a nice path for Stevie Scott, but you can see McGrone keep his outside shoulder free, fights off 68's block, and then delivers a really nice pop at the line of scrimmage. This is a pretty good running back, so delivers a big hit, shuts down what I initially thought was going to be a big play for Indiana, and he stops it for just a 1-yard gain. Not the best strategy on a 3rd and 1, so let's look at what Indiana is trying to do here. All of these linemen are blocking down to the right. That's essentially just trying to wall this off for the jet sweep around the edge. You'll have these blockers working to the outside to form this edge for the jet sweep here. The main issue is that leaves number 6, a guy named Josh Uche, who is probably one of the quickest get-off guys in college football off of the defensive line. So this whole play predicates on him not being able to react to this quick enough. Speed rush is his thing, and he is there. So despite these blockers getting out here, 86 is looking to get off onto work off of this initial double team onto Metellus, but really it doesn't matter. And I think even if Uche doesn't get this block, you have a fast enough linebacker here in McGrone also to take this out. So I don't know. you would feel like they would identify who they're leaving unblocked. If this was a Dwumfor, if this was a defensive tackle, sure, that's a decent plan, but not a Josh Uche with a Cam McGrone behind him. So not a really good play to call with the personnel that Michigan has here against this formation, and Uche just wallops this guy in the backfield. So it's a clear win for Michigan, and Indiana needs to go back on the drawing board up for that one.
Notes that we both received in the mail.
You were peeking over my shoulder.
Big sack here for Pay and Hutchinson. Looking at Michigan's pass rush, you got Uche one-on-one on the edge here. Actually, he'll have these two guys accounting for him, so nothing doing for Uche there. You're going to bring Hutchinson on this loop around stunt here. You'll have both Pay and Dana slanting inside slightly. Let's take a let's take a look at Pay here. He puts a move on 76, kind of breaks his ankles. Feel kind of bad for him, and he is way off balance. Pay now has a clear shot here straight to Ramsey. This guy tries to hold a little bit, but at this point, Pay is too far gone, and he's the guy who initially causes the pressure here. Given this move, 76 is completely unable to help on anything relating to this stunt here from Hutchinson. So as Ramsey realizes this pressure is right here, he's going to try to shift to his left, and that's where Hutchinson is going to be waiting for him as well. So that's just bad news for Ramsey and that offensive lineman. You're going to have these two guys coming across the field here in sort of pick routes here. That's to open up this crossing route. This is the actual goal of this play to get it here. And this guy is just on sort of a go route. You got running back kind of doing a wheel route here as well. Michigan's going to drop into zone, so this mesh route concept will not work very well. You got McGrone picking up this guy right here, ensuring that he doesn't pick Gray here, who actually follows number 10 across without any traffic in his way. So this is where you have Peyton Ramsey looking the entire way. Again, combined the zone with the pass rush, and it's just bad news for Indiana and a big loss.
Great incompletions for Peyton Ramsey. And look out, he gets hit and the ball's out.
Strip sack and fumble recovery out of Josh Uche here off the edge. Michigan went back to this little stunt that they love to run with Hutchinson all game. He's coming around the outside. You got Pay, Dana on the inside. They actually adjust pretty well on the right side of the offensive line here. Let's take a look at that first. So they actually hand off pretty well. 77's ready here for Hutchinson this time around. And in true Indiana fashion, when one thing does work, the other side is not working. So here we are with 76 again, who's in one-on-one coverage, one-on-one blocking with Josh Uche around the edge once in a while. That might work, but not this time. Uche goes from power to speed around the outside, just beats him straight to the punch here. Does a really good job as Peyton Ramsey is throwing to this guy who has Dax Hill right behind the wide receiver. I don't even know if he sees him, to be honest. But as he's loading up, good job swiping at the arm, and then he actually recovers the fumble himself. As far as routes go, it looks like you have a go route on the outside here. There's a guy at the bottom of the screen who's also running that, and then you have a couple curl routes. This is eventually where Peyton Ramsey will be trying to go. Or I'm sorry, no, that's incorrect. So this is the guy actually running a go route, and then these are the two curl routes. Sorry about that. This guy has an inside release curl route. So this is eventually where the pass will be looking to go with Dax Hill in coverage. You'll also have Metellus here to help as well. So yeah, just good job by Josh Uche getting to the quarterback, recover it himself. The coverage was good downfield regardless, but Uche's going to Uche, man.